My name is Olivia Hayes. 3 years ago, my father threw me out of our family mansion with nothing but a suitcase and a warning. You are no longer a Hayes, he told me. And my younger sister smiled while watching security drag me outside like a criminal. But last month, came back. Not because I forgave them. Not because I missed them. I came back because the FBI asked me to. And by the end of that night, my father was in handcuffs. People looking at my family from the outside thought we were perfect. My father, Richard Hayes, was one of the most respected businessmen in Chicago. He owned luxury hotels, private real estate developments, and investment firms worth hundreds of millions. My mother spent her life organizing charity galas and pretending she cared about poor people. And my younger sister, Vanessa, she was the golden child, beautiful, manipulative, and my father's favorite. Meanwhile, I was the disappointment. Not because I failed, but because I refused to become like them. I hated how our company destroyed small businesses. I hated how my father bribed politicians. I hated hearing rich people laugh about ruining families during dinner parties. But the moment everything changed was the night my father announced Vanessa would become vice president of Hayes Global. I still remember the applause echoing across the ballroom. Crystal chandeliers sparkled above us while wealthy investors congratulated my sister. Then my father raised his wine glass and smiled. Vanessa represents the future of this family. Everyone clapped, except me, because I knew the truth. Vanessa was stealing money from the company. And I had proof. After the party ended, I confronted my father privately in his office. I placed the financial documents on his desk. At least $12 million disappeared through fake shell companies, I said. My father barely looked at the papers. She's laundering money, I whispered. Then he slowly leaned back in his chair and smiled. You should have minded your business. That was the moment my stomach dropped. He knew. He had known the entire time. Vanessa wasn't acting alone. My father was involved too. You're helping her. Yes. No, he replied calmly. She's helping us. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This is illegal. My father stood up slowly and walked toward me. You have two choices, Olivia. He stared directly into my eyes. You either become part of this family, or you become our enemy. I should have walked away quietly, but I threatened to go to federal authorities. And that was my mistake. Because the next morning, everything I owned was gone. My bank accounts frozen. My apartment lease canceled. My company access revoked. Even my car disappeared. Then came the worst part. The news headlines. Olivia Hayes accused of corporate fraud. They framed me. My own family destroyed my life overnight. And nobody questioned it. Because rich people control the narrative. The first few months were hell. I slept in cheap motels. Worked night shifts at diners. Sometimes I cried in bathroom stalls so customers wouldn't see me breaking down. Meanwhile, my family continued appearing on magazine covers. Smiling. Celebrating. Pretending I never existed. But pain changes people. And humiliation creates something dangerous. Patience. I stopped trying to clear my name publicly. Instead, I started collecting evidence. Quietly, carefully, every fake company, every offshore account, every bribe, every corrupt politician connected to Hayes Global. For nearly 3 years, I built a secret case against my own family. Then one rainy night, someone knocked on my apartment door. 2 FBI agents stood outside. First, I thought I was being arrested. But then one of them said something unexpected. We know your father framed you. My entire body froze. The female agent handed me a thick file. We've been investigating Hayes Global for over 2 years. She looked directly at me. And we need your help. For the next several weeks, I secretly worked with federal investigators. Every meeting felt surreal. I spent years believing nobody would ever believe me. Now federal agents were asking me to expose one of the most powerful businessmen in Illinois. But the hardest part wasn't gathering evidence. It was returning home. The FBI needed insider access during my father's annual charity gala. The same mansion where I had been humiliated and thrown away. The same ballroom where my sister stole my life. And somehow I had to walk back inside pretending nothing happened. The night of the gala finally arrived. Luxury cars lined the driveway. Reporters crowded the entrance. The wealthiest people in Chicago filled the mansion wearing designer suits and diamond jewelry. Then my taxi stopped outside the gates. And the security guards recognized me instantly. One of them laughed. "You've got nerve showing up here." I smiled calmly. "Tell my father I'm here." Minutes later the front doors opened. And Richard Hayes himself stepped outside. The look on his face. Pure shock. For a second nobody moved. Then my sister Vanessa appeared beside him holding a champagne glass. And she burst out laughing. "Oh my God," she said loudly. She actually came back. Several guests started whispering. Phones came out. People were recording. Exactly what my father hated. Public embarrassment. Then he walked toward me slowly. "You are not welcome here." I looked around the crowd. Then smiled softly. "That's okay. I won't be staying long." My father made the mistake of trying to humiliate me publicly. He grabbed a microphone in front of hundreds of guests. "This woman," he announced dramatically, "betrayed our family and stole from our company." People gasped. Some guests shook their heads at me. Others whispered cruel comments. And Vanessa stood there smiling like she had already won. Then my father pointed toward the door. "Leave now before security removes you." The ballroom fell silent. Every eye focused on me. And honestly, part of me almost broke again. 3 years of pain came rushing back all at once. But then I remembered something the FBI agent told me earlier that day. Powerful people always believe they're untouchable right before they fall. So instead of crying, smiled. Then I looked directly at my father. "You should really check outside." Confusion spread across his face. Then suddenly, red and blue lights flashed through the mansion windows. The ballroom erupted into chaos. Guests rushed toward the glass walls trying to see what was happening. And then the front doors exploded open. "Federal agents! Everyone stay where you are." The entire mansion froze. FBI agents stormed inside from every entrance. My father's face turned completely white. Vanessa dropped her champagne glass. One of the agents walked directly toward Richard Hayes. "Sir, you are under arrest for financial fraud, money laundering, racketeering, and conspiracy." The ballroom went silent. I'll never forget the expression on my father's face. For the first time in my life, he looked afraid. Chaos spread everywhere. Guests rushed for exits. Reporters outside started screaming questions. Federal agents seized phones, laptops, and financial records. And then came the moment I waited years for. Vanessa pointed at me hysterically. "You did this." I walked closer slowly. "No," I replied calmly. "You did this to yourselves." She tried blaming my father. My father blamed her. Both of them turned on each other within minutes. That's the thing about corrupt people. Loyalty disappears when consequences arrive. Then my father suddenly looked at me. Real fear filled his eyes. "Olivia, please. Please." That word shocked me more than anything else. Because powerful men never beg. Until they lose power. "You ruined this family," he whispered. I stared at him coldly. "No. You ruined it the moment you chose greed over your own daughter." Then federal agents placed handcuffs on both him and Vanessa. And the ballroom cameras captured everything. The mighty Hayes family collapsed in a single night. Over the next several months, the story dominated national news. More victims came forward. Former employees testified. Politicians connected to Hayes Global resigned. And the empire my father spent 30 years building collapsed completely. Meanwhile, prosecutors officially cleared my name. Every false accusation disappeared. But the strangest part, I didn't feel victorious. Felt free. For years revenge consumed me. I imagined this moment constantly. But standing there watching my father enter a federal prison transport vehicle, I realized something important. The greatest revenge isn't destroying people. It's surviving them. It's rebuilding after they tried to erase you. And eventually, I did rebuild. Today, I run a small business helping families recover from corporate fraud. Nothing glamorous. Nothing flashy. But honest, peaceful, real. Sometimes reporters still ask me about the Hayes scandal. They always ask the same question. Do you regret exposing your family? And my answer never changes. No. Because family isn't defined by blood. Family is defined by who protects you when you're powerless. And the people who destroyed my life stopped being my family a long time ago. The last time I ever saw my father, he looked at me through prison glass and asked one final question. Was it worth it? I stared at him for a long moment before answering. Yes. Then I stood up and walked away forever. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more emotional revenge dramas, family betrayal stories, and shocking comeback stories inspired by real-life situations. And remember, sometimes the people who break you create the strongest version of you.